Ma'am, please do talk about that one incident where your cousins had gone, that your little stint in acting, how it came about, and how your mother was convinced. And that day you were like...
Yeah, I actually, I had seen, the first film in my life was released in 1956, a film called Durgesh Nandini. I'm 70 years old, so I'm born in 1952. 56, when I was 4 years old, I go to see my first film. And उसमें कुछ तलवारबाजी होगी शायद कुछ और बहुत और अच्छी चीज़ें भी थी पर मुझे वो याद नहीं. I just remembered the sword fight and I was petrified. I just, I was thoroughly shaken by it. And I thought, cinema is not where I want to. I don't want to go to a movie theater to watch a movie because it's very disturbing to watch a film. I don't want to sit through this kind of thing again. I decided that I will never see a film in my life. ये first और ये last थी. And next, my cousins come and they all go to see a movie and I'm trying to wriggle out of it. We are all walking on Bhandari Bridge and I'm telling, I tell my mother, I'm really, Lord, I've got big stomach ache, I can't walk, I can't do, I make a most pathetic face and my mother buys this act of mine and she sends me back with my nanny. I come back home and I feel, okay, I managed to convince her. So I come back home and then the whole gang come back and they are all singing and jumping and dancing because obviously they've gone to see a Shami Kapoor film. And it's all full of songs and dances and I feel such a fool for having enacted that part and I tell myself, and from that time I told myself, I will never miss going to another movie in my life and I will never ever do acting.
Because you were so good at it, your mother was convinced and she said, it's okay, stay back. We have roughly 20 minutes left, ma'am, for the session. So one thing that I would like to touch upon before I open the floor for questions. One thing, unfortunately, we don't talk about. Something especially a lot of celebrities go through. The latest was Virat Kohli. He spoke about not being in a good space. Deepika Padukone, of course, has spoken a lot about it. We don't talk about mental health. There was a phase in your life. And you are a student of psychology. You could figure out what was happening with you. How important do you think it is for people to take note of their mental health and to seek help?
At that time, when I was going through severe depression, it was the 90s. I was trying to fight depression. And again, it was a time when I didn't feel comfortable talking about it, but I would write poems. I had found my own way of dealing with it. My family was in America. If I didn't want them to feel that I'm going through some dark phase of my life, and I tried to kind of keep it under wraps, also not very comfortable seeking professional help or medical help for it. So having been a student of abnormal psychology, I thought, I'd studied this subject in my college in New York. I thought, okay, so I know how things happen and I know why things happen. So I was trying to identify things and I was trying to keep a very close watch on myself, trying to be my own therapist, trying to be my own, observing myself, making notes, ferociously making notes and keeping track of so that I don't go down too badly. And I knew that I had to pull myself out of it. I'm not going to, nobody else is going to do it for me. I just have to do this myself. So I went through that phase and luckily today, all that turbulence came out in the form of my poetry. In my second collection of poetry called Black Wind and Other Poems. Now you can understand Black Wind, the title comes from that phase which I was going through. It is a dark period of my life and I'm glad that I had poems to sort of help me. I had my writing that helped me deal with that phase. Today, luckily we are able to spell it out. We are able to confront it. We are able to address this state of mind, and we are not ashamed to talk about it. So in my time, I couldn't. So I'm happy to see this time.
It was very difficult.
It was
back then.
difficult. Yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, and I also experienced, my friend who was in school with me, and she was mentally disturbed. She had a situation. I mean, we go through depression, we come out of it. We can go back into depression again come out of it. But she had a mental condition which was called schizophrenia, and we didn't know why that behavior of hers. We didn't know how to deal with it. We were all 15-year-olds, and we didn't know how to deal with that. So that became the reason for me to later, when I joined college, I thought I should study this subject, because she was one of us. She was one of our small
members,
group.
yeah.
हाँ, और बहुत हम लोग उसके लिए protective और feel करते थे. So it just so happened. I don't think I put 2 and 2 together at that time when I was enrolling for my subjects. But it just so happened that I chose to study that subject here.